Hi, I am Marrette and I'm speaking with Nabi, a candidate for the President-Elect of the Board of Directors for the Special Libraries Association. In this interview, we'll address 4 questions relating to the culture of his priorities for our association. And I just wanted to thank Nabi for taking the time to volunteer to take on this leadership role, and also for calling in during his time zone at 9:30 p.m. his time zone. He's willing to volunteer his time to talk to us today. And also, I just wanted to get confirmation on the state for the record that this is the first time we're actually directly talking to each other. Can you confirm, Nabi?
Yeah, it is for the first time we are talking to each other, and thank you, Jamie, for facilitating this discussion.
So we'll start with the first question. When the People of a Global Majority Network, which is the group that I also am a member of, aside from SLA, when we met, we came up with a few questions. We'd like to identify, if you can identify some issues we believe are of the utmost importance for SLA to address. These are listed in alphabetical order: accessibility, community morale and engagement, creating anti-racist policies, financial health, and membership retention and growth. Out of these 5 priorities, can you list 2 of the utmost importance and maybe talk about why they're important to
you? Thank you very much, Marrette, for hosting this video discussion. So before I begin, I would like to introduce myself a bit. I'm Dr. Nabi Hasan, head of the library system, or you can say library director at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and a candidate for President-Elect. I have a PhD in Library and Information Science, and I was the first Norman E. Warlock Fellow at Cornell University, New York, in Library Information Systems, funded by US Department of State. So regarding my administrative experience, I have served as the Vice President of the Indian Association of Special Libraries and Information Centers, apart from many other important positions. In SLA, I am the immediate past president of the Asian community and the president-elect of the academic community. I have the honor to have earned a presidential citation, the Bonnie Hilditch Engineering Librarian, and the SLA Asian Fellow Awards. So now let's discuss the issues of my priorities as Marrette elaborated those issues as a candidate for the president-elect. So the first and foremost issue for me is the financial health, that is revenue, expenses, etc. of the association. And the second one is the membership, retention, and growth. Both the issues are related to each other. No association can flourish without the funds or revenue, and membership, retention, and growth are perhaps the best way to improve the financial health of the SLA. Actually, the profession is passing through a tough time. Membership and revenue of the association is decreasing day by day. This is not applicable only in case of SLA, but for other associations as well, as it's a global phenomenon. My vision is clear, and if elected, my first goal will be to link more people globally and increase the number of members through events and networking, which will also help increase the revenue and reach. So my experience with consortia, we were hosting the India's oldest consortia, Indian National Digital Library in Engineering, Sciences and Technology. So my experience with consortia and networking with different publishers and associates will help support SLA by bringing more sponsors and generate revenue through various events or joint projects. So finding new ways of income generation and reducing expenditure could be another agenda item, so that the financial health of SLA may be improved. The SLA annual conference, in my opinion, or such other events of the SLA may also find some new spaces for innovations, increasing the reach by bringing new people and sponsors to the table. We can also consider reducing membership fee further or attract people with some other offers. As the association's tagline is connecting information professional. So Marrette, I have been here from about a decade to connect with you all and to deliver for SLA. So these were my first two priorities out of the priorities those you have listed. So next issue, Marrette, on my agenda is community morale or engagement. So I would say that without this, it's harder to recruit and retain. SLA is all about networking. So this is a critical piece and we need to work hard to keep the people engaged and keep the morale of the community high. This could be possible by hosting different engagement activities with people inside the community and with other communities as well. Like, for example, SLA Academic and Education Committee very recently has started regular happy hours, suiting every time zone, which serves as we are having socializing party with the people from the families whose members are at different places with different likings and different expertise. And then the next agenda or issue on my agenda, the next agenda is creating anti-racist policy as a president-elect candidate. So is this assumed that SLA policies are racist, which I don't believe at all. The SLA's Diversity and Inclusion Task Force, D and ITF, was tasked with a one-year appointment under President D. McNaughey to research diversity and inclusion in SLA in an effort to identify concrete steps for the association and the profession to progress forward. The DICE caucus is one of the outcome of the DNITF. In addition, SLA Connect houses a repository of tools and other resources that SLA unit can use to assist in their inclusion efforts. My country, India, has people from different religions, races, caste, creeds, skin colors, ethnicity, diverse cultures, sexes, etc. Having served over 26 years in supervisory or leadership positions, I have demonstrated and proved myself as a person capable of bringing all such people together. This is perhaps the reason that I could deliver for the profession and people without any biases. I have also been able to take care of people without any gender discrimination. And if elected, I will be in a position to uphold the importance of diversity and inclusion and strengthen anti-racist policy. I would also highlight the importance of civil discourse to the highest level, which SLA honors and reflects in its activities. I want to make sure to protect the interest of our differently able colleagues or from different genders without any discrimination. We have been able to maintain the highest level of professional conduct that I wish to continue as per the SLA spirit. I think we can always learn from each other, especially when we are different. Overall, I wish to create and promote an environment that values constructive discussions, the all-encompassing diversity of persons, and promotes equity and inclusion of all in all aspects. We need to see that we are addressing all our members and see what could be the consequences of adopting or not adopting a particular anti-racist policy. I would also like to share my views on accessibility. So accessibility to me means that the fullest use of any resource should be made by the greatest number of people. Libraries and information centers, as providers of public space and digital content, have a responsibility to promote equitable access to all users, whether or not they use assistive technology. As a SLA representative or leader in any capacity, it is our duty to help resolve any accessibility issues, whether these are people, administrators, resources, or facilities. I think this pandemic has given people an opportunity to reach different people differently in innovative ways, like different means of library services through remote access, and the students are able to connect to library globally. Most of the libraries were closed during the pandemic, but they discovered some other ways to reach the people by migrating all their services on cloud. So even if the libraries were closed, services were still available. So there could be accessibility constraint of many other types as well, like for disabled people or people with limited technology access, events in the US being more expensive for members outside the US, or online events scheduled at different time zones. I think in that case, accessibility may be facilitated with physical events may be broadcasted live or in a recorded format with minimum access charges for the members. Event fee may be reduced to the minimum as per the different regions, keeping in view the earnings as we have reduced the membership fee for Asian and some other regions. Most suitable time zones may be chosen, which may cover majority of the people. Like we are having this interview covering mine and your time zone as well. Another way could be to record important events and to post on a platform accessible to the all authorized SLA users. We can also find the spaces outside of North America for physical events where the cost of staying and living is affordable to all. How to make SLA more accessible, inclusive, and diverse association. One aspect may also be by creating a glossary of SLA terms, which means inclusivity, diversity, and equity through accessibility in our language, like what SLA or IPSLA stand for. So these were some of the my views on these different aspects. Yeah.
Thank you. So I guess speaking of the retention and membership, imagine a library student or a new professional comes to you and says that they're not planning to renew. You did mention some ideas in your explanation, but what would you say if they didn't see any value or they were unhappy with people complaining constantly through some of the social media forums that we have? What would you say to try to keep this person in SLA?
Okay, really great question. Well, unless the complaints have merit, I don't give them attention. If they do have merit, then I would open up lines of communication to get to the heart of the problem, to see if a solution is available. To the non-renewers, I would just list the number of benefits that are available from SLA, like networking, professional development, colleagues around the globe, development of leadership skills, volunteer opportunities, most importantly, domain or region specific communities and reducing membership fee. So SLA offers domain specific communities, region specific communities, which are really very specific and maybe you may not find in other associations this way. You can't change the complainers. Some people are just negative people, but you can always emphasize the positives. And I think I'm the person who believe in positive things and I know as how to convince the people. Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on to specifically international membership. Historically, a lot of our events have been focusing on North America. Can you please share some ideas of how you would ensure all memberships and all communities are supported and given equal treatment?
Again, there seems to be assumption that all communities are not supported or given equitable treatment. Yes, time zones make things difficult, but each and every community and member have an equal opportunity to participate in every SLA initiative. You can't ignore the critical mass either. 90+% of all membership is North American. But this doesn't mean that other community outside North America are not supported or treated equitably. If this is so, how a person like me from Asia and how an Indo-Caribbean from, you can say, European community is running for president-elect position. I have already shared my thoughts that let's find new spaces as well, whether it is the annual conference or other regular professional event associated with the SLA. Take people along and let's find out what's interesting for them and let's try doing their way as well. Yeah.
Okay. And my last question, only one of you is going to be elected as a president-elect. If elected, what ideas do you have for including the other candidates? And if you were not elected, how would you try to remain engaged with SLA?
That's a great question, Marrette. So if elected, I would like to take along all those who are here in the election process as their great ideas and homework for taking the association forward will help a lot. To keep these candidates involved, there are numerous committees and councils in need of volunteers and leadership. Appoint them all to something if they are willing to serve. If I am not elected, then also it would be again a win-win situation for me. I would be having enough time to associate myself with different committees and communities. Although I am already a president-elect of the academic community and would continue to deliver for the SLA, which is my primary goal. Since this election process has given me a lot of networking opportunities, therefore I will be able to communicate with more people and with new board as well more comfortably, and we can work together in taking the association to the next level. I would always look to ways I can further serve the association as volunteer or in communities, advisory councils, committees, etc. The opportunities to stay engaged are endless. In the just concluded annual conference of SLA, I was the speaker for the 2 live sessions and for 2 pre-recorded sessions as well. I also presented a poster apart from involvement in some other activities. I was also part of many activities in previous conferences as well. What I mean to say is that I have now enough friends in the SLA to work together and help SLAers to keep doing good things for the association. My efforts and contribution have already been appreciated and acknowledged in town halls and other meetings of the SLA, apart from various SLA awards. The biggest plus point with me is that the SLA activity hours suits me as these are beyond my office hours. So when the SLA activities happens, I am generally comfortable and free to devote my time. I think these factors are good enough to keep going for the betterment of the SLA in general. No matter the outcome of the election, the experience will be rewarding and will enrich my personal and professional development. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that is it for me. Well, you've answered all the questions, and I wanted to thank you for taking the time to give us a better idea of you and your plans. So thank you, and good luck.
Thank you, Marrette.
When you're running,
Thank you.
Again, Nabi is running for president-elect of the Board of Directors for SLA. So thank you.
Thank you very much.